So I think most people would agree that it's a bad idea to date most Greek gods. There's just so much drama, so many complicated family feuds, and the odds of you getting vaporized, shot, or turning into a plant are pretty astronomical. The threat is somewhat reduced if you happen to be a deity yourself, but even with that precaution, it's probably a good idea to steer clear of the more risky deities, like Aphrodite, who classifies everything anyone's ever done as either flirtation or deadly personal insult, or Poseidon, who wouldn't recognize consent if it jumped up and bit him in the trident. So let me introduce you to Nerites, a minor ocean deity and absolute madman whose only claim to fame is that, depending on the narrator, he dated both Aphrodite and Poseidon and actually survived. So, much like the story of Narcissus, who exactly Nerites is in love with varies from telling to telling. There's two versions of the story, one where the SO in question is Aphrodite, and the other where it's Poseidon. We'll talk about both versions in this video, but first we gotta talk about Nerites. Now, the two main things about Nerites is that, number one, he's the beautiful son of Nereus and the sea nymph Doris, and number two, he's young. Like, really young. In the ancient Greek world, this was a thing called pederasty, where adult men would have sexual relationships with adolescent boys, in an alleged effort to teach them how to be men. In the modern world, this is known as pedophilia, and it is very, very not okay. However, Nerites is also an immortal god, so he's kinda more like the ancient Greek male equivalent of those prepubescent anime girls who are actually 1,000-year-old dragons or elves or whatever, so it's really okay that we're using them for so much fan service, you guys. So if that makes you feel better about these romances, that's cool, I guess. It's always fun when a story from another time and place really drives home how different that society was by smacking you in the face with some hardcore moral dissonance. Anyway, moving on to the actual stories. Don't get comfy, they're pretty short. So, in this version of the myth, Aphrodite, before she rises from the ocean, drifts to the shores of Cythera, and becomes an Olympian god, is spending her days chilling under the sea when she meets and falls in love with Nerites, and the two of them carry on a vague but probably adorable whirlwind romance. But eventually Aphrodite decides to leave the ocean, and she asks Nerites to come with her. But Nerites doesn't really want to leave the ocean, since that'd mean leaving his family behind, and even when Aphrodite offers him a nice pair of wings, he refuses. So Aphrodite, with her characteristic level-headedness in the face of rejection, turns Nerites into a shrimp, gives the wings to her son Eros, and takes off for Olympus. But if you were expecting this story to have a classic Greek tragedy ending, think again. Nerites' sorry state is discovered by his sister Nerea, who begs Poseidon to reverse his shellfish condition, which Poseidon does. Happy ending, I guess. In the other main version of this myth, Poseidon and Nerites have been carrying on a pretty sweet romance, and in fact are so in love with each other that their mutually supportive relationship produces a whole entire deity, Anteros, the god of requited love. Nerites also serves as Poseidon's charioteer, and wows all the creatures of the ocean with his impressive speed and skill. But one day, the sun god Helios, for unspecified reasons, turns Nerites into a shrimp. Maybe he was jealous? Either way, Nerea finds Nerites, asks Poseidon to turn him back, and he does. Happy ending! For extra comedy points, I like to imagine that both versions of the myth happen sequentially, and Nerites just gets turned into a shrimp for various reasons, like every other week. Just look at the world around you, right here on the ocean floor. Such wonderful things surround you. What more are you looking for? Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.